हाय एवरीवन, जय जगन्नाथ। आज आम पढ़ा एनसीईआरटी क्लास 6 हिस्ट्री चैप्टर नंबर 2। चैप्टर नंबर 1 आम ऑलरेडी कंप्लीट कर देछि। ताको जाई आपण मन देखि नेबे। चैप्टर 2 ए स्टार्ट करिवा। ता पूर्वरु आपण मन चैनल को लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब कर दियंतु। जहाँ भी डाउट हो कमेंट सेक्शन रे जणेबे। तो चैप्टर नंबर 2 रे रहिला फ्रॉम हंटिंग गैदरिंग टू ग्रोइंग फूड। लोक माने किपरि फास्ट पूर्व काल लोक माने से माने शिकार करी फूड गैदर करी निजे करथिले एवं एबेकार पुनी से माने केमिति टाइम टू टाइम ग्रोइंग फूड को ग्रो कले मैं चाष कले। तुषार's train journey. Tushar was going from Delhi to Chennai for his cousin's wedding. They were traveling by train and he had managed to squeeze into the window seat, his nose glued to the glass pane. As he watched trees and houses fly past, his uncle tapped his shoulder and said, "Do you know that trains were first used about 150 years ago, and that people began using buses a few decades later?" Tushar wondered, when people could not travel quickly from one place to another, did they spend their entire lives wherever they were born? Not quite. तो ये जो पैराग्राफ रे तुषार कौन करछि ना, तुषार बोली गोटे पिला तार कजिन वेडिंग पाई से दिल्ली रो चेन्नई जाउछि ट्रेन रे। ता पाखरे बसछन्ती तार अंकल बसछन्ती। तो से देखुछि सब गछ घर माने सब बहुत जोरे उड़ुथिबार माने दौड़ुथिबार। तो से देन ता अंकल ता पिठरे थापुडेकी ता कांधारे कहउछन्ती, "तू जानिछु कि ट्रेन केते वर्ष पूर्व यूज होइतिला 150 इयर्स एगो एवं ता परे बसेस यूज होला।" तो तुषार आश्चर्य हो जाउछि। ता मन क्वेश्चन आछि कि जेतेबेले लोक माने ट्रैवल करि पार नथिले गोटे प्लेस रु अनदर प्लेस, से माने कोन गोटे जगह रे से जोडी जन्म होतले सेठी सारा जीवन बितौतले। तो मन रे क्वेश्चन आछि। नेक्स्ट पढ़िबा द अर्लीस्ट पीपल, व्हाई वर दे मूव। आग काल लोक माने काहेकि से माने गोटे जगह रु अन्य जगह को जाउथिले। We know about people who lived in subcontinent as early as 2 million years ago. Today we describe them as a hunter-gatherer. अच्छा, 2 million years ago पूर्वर जो लोक मान थिले से मानकु हंटर गैदरर बोल कह जाउथला। The name was come from way in which they got their food. ए जो नेम टा हंटर गैदरर एटा कोड आछि ना से मानकर फूड जो से मन शिकार करी गैदर करी आनथिले, तो से अनुसार ता नाम दिया है जे हंटर गैदरर्स। Generally, they hunted wild animals, caught fish and birds, gathered foods, roots, nuts, seeds, leaves, stalk and eggs. से माने पशु मान को शिकार करथिले, माछ धरुथिले, पक्षी मान को शिकार करथिले एवं फूल फल मूल ये सब से माने गैदर करी खाउथिले। Hunter gatherers moved from place to place. There were many reasons for this. से माने मध्य गोटे प्लेस रो अन्य जगह को जाउथिले। कोन पे जाउथिले ना, फर्स्ट हैला if they had stay one place for a long time, they would have eaten up all the available plants and animal resources. Therefore they would have had to go elsewhere in search of food. से माने फर्स्ट कथा हला जदि से माने गोटे जगह रहउथिले से जगह रे जत्ते रिसोर्सेस थिला माने गछ लता आउ पशु पक्षी माने, तो से माने से खाई दउथिले, से सरी जाउथिला। ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସେ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାରୁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାକୁ ଯାଉଥିଲେ। ଦେନ୍ ଆସିଲା ସେକେଣ୍ଡରେ କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ ଯାଉଥିଲେ ନା ଆନିମଲ୍ ମୁଭ୍ ଫ୍ରମ୍ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ ଟୁ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ ଆଇଦର୍ ଇନ୍ ସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଅଫ୍ ସ୍ମଲର୍ ପ୍ରେ or in case of deer and wild cattle in search of grass and leaves. That is why those who wanted them had to follow their movement. हाँ द्वितीय कौन पे जाऊले ना पशु पक्षी मैंने भी गोटे जगार आ गोटे जगह को जाऊले कौन पे ना तांकर से जो मनकर बाघ से खाए कौन हरिण को तो सेठी तार खाद्य जदि सरीगला तो सी आ गोटे जगह को मूव करथिला जेंती हरिण वाइल्ड कैटल जदि गोटे जगार घास पत्र सरीगला से आउ जगह मूव करथिले। देन आसला थर्ड रे कौन पे जाउथिले ओके plants and trees bear fruit okay bear fruit in different seasons, so people may have moved from season to season in search of different kind of plants. गछलता एवं प्लांट सब अलग अलग सीजन रे अलग अलग फल दे थांती तो सेति माने अलग गोटे जगह रे गोटे प्रकार गछ अछि से फलटा सरी गला से सीजन रे तो तांको आ गोटे जगह को मूव करियो पड़थिला। देन असला फोर्थ रीजन कोन फोर्थ रीजन है people, plants and animals need water to survive. Water is found in lakes, streams and rivers. While many rivers and lakes are perennial with water throughout the year, others are seasonal. People living on their bank would have had to go in search of water during the dry seasons, winter and summer. Okay. चतुर्थ कारण कौन ना आम समस्ते लोक मैंने हो प्लांट हो एनिमल हो समस्त को सर्वाइव करने पानी दरकार तो पानी कौटू मिले लेक रु स्ट्रीम रु रिवर रु नदी रु आउ लेक रु ए सब जगह पानी मिले जिते बेले किछि नदी थांती पेरेनियल माने माने सब वर्षर सबू समय रे से नदी रे पानी थाए किंतु किछि नदी थांती जो कि ड्राई सीजन रे से नदी सुखी जाए तो से मान को से मूव करिया पे पड़े। देन पड़ेगा हाउ डू वी नो अबाउट दिस पीपल। Archaeologists have found some of things hunter-gatherers made and used. It is likely that people made and used tools of stone, wood and bone, of which stone tools have survived best. आमे से लोकों विषय रे किपरि जानि परिबा ना आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट माने तांको विषय रे बहुत सारा प्रूफ पाइछन्ती जोटा कि से माने यूज करि जाइथिबा टूल माने स्टोन रे तयारी काठ रे तयारी बोन रे तयारी तो से माने सेगो पाइछन्ती। Some of these stone tools are used to cut meat and bone, scrape bark from trees and hides animal skin, chop fruit and roots. Some may have been attached to handle of bone or wood to make spear and arrows for hunting. Other tools are used to chop wood, which was used as firewood. Wood was also used to make hats and tools. तो ये हमारा ये जो टूल्स व्यवहार करती कौन पे से सब देला ये पिक्चर रे ये गोटे स्टोन टूल जोटा कि माटी खोला होची एपटे एनिमल स्किन को जो कपड़ा भावे व्यवहार करा जाए क्लॉथ भावे तो सेटा सिलाई होची स्टोन रे मुनिया स्टोन रे। तो ये गोटे मैप आसला Look at map 2 below. All of these places marked with red triangle are sites from which archaeologists have found evidence of hunter-gatherers. Okay. Red triangle कोटी अच्छी ना ये गोटे अच्छी कुर्नाल केव ये गोटे अच्छी हुंसिगी देन अच्छी बिम्बेतका तो ये सब हंटर गैदरर मान को प्रूफ मिली। Many sites were located near sources of water such as river and lake. केतेक साइट मिली नदी कूल से अधिक बसवास करते। As stone tools were important, people tried to find places where good quality stone was easily available. Okay. Rock painting and what they tell us. सेतबेले लोक मैंने कौड़ी रोते ना गुंफारे तो गुंफारे रोते गुंफारे सब पेंट करते ये भी गोटे तर पेंट रो एग्जांपल। Many of caves in which these early people lived have paintings on the walls. Some of the best examples are Madhya Pradesh and southern Uttar Pradesh. These paintings show wild animals drawn with great accuracy and skill. Okay, site माने कौन ये साइट देला साइट्स माने जोटी की पूर्व काल लोक मैंने रहुथिले एवं से माने जो छाड़ी जाइथिले टूल स्पॉट बिल्डिंग तो से गुडा जोटू आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट माने फाउंड करछन तो से साइट को फाइंडिंग आउट अबाउट फायर फाइंड द कुर्नाल केव्स ऑन मैप 2 कुर्नाल केव्स का मैप 2 रे कुर्नाल red triangle कुर्नाल केव traces of bass have been found there. This suggested that people are familiar with the use of fire. Fire could have been used for many things as a source of light, a roast meat and a scare away animal. तो ये कुर्नाल रो जो प्लेस टाइम देखिले सेठी मिली किसी माने पाउंस तो सेठू आम जापर पीपल मैंने से निया सहित फैमिलियर थिले। तो फायर कुड हैव बीन यूज्ड मेनी थिंग्स ए सोर्स ऑफ लाइट रोस्ट मीट लाइट पाई एवं मांस को सीजे रोस्ट करिया पाई सब फायर स्कार आवे एनिमल ना जो रोते तो पशु मैंने पड़े आसते तो से डरवा ये सब यूज होता। व्हाट डू वी यूज फॉर फायर टुडे कौन पाई कमेंट सेक्शन में जनइबे आम एबे फायर यूज करछे। तो देन आसला नेम एंड डेट्स archaeologists have given lengthy name for the time that we are studying. They call the earliest period Paleolithic. ସେମାନେ ଆଗ କାଳର ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ପାଲିଓଲିଥିକ୍ କହୁଥିଲେ। ଦିସ୍ କମ୍ସ ଫ୍ରମ୍ ଟୁ ଗ୍ରୀକ୍ ୱାର୍ଡ ପାଲିଓ ମିନିଂ ଓଲ୍ଡ ଏବଂ ଲିଥୋସ୍ ମିନିଂ ଷ୍ଟୋନ୍। ପାଲିଓ ମିନିଂ ଓଲ୍ଡ litho means stone. The name point that important of find of stone tool कारण ये नाटा कौन पे दिया कारण से stone tool को बेसी व्यवहार करा। The Paleolithic period extended from 2 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago. 2 लाख वर्ष पूर्व 12,000 वर्ष पूर्व जो समय पीरियड टाको तो पैलेलिथिक कह जाए। This long stretch of time is divided into the lower, middle and upper Paleolithic. से जो Paleolithic period टा एते बड़ period टा ताको भी तीन भाग रे विभक्त करा जाय छै. कौन कौन ना lower, middle, upper Paleolithic. This long span of time cover 99% of human history. 99% human history को एटा cover करछ Paleolithic. Then asla the period when we find environmental change beginning about 12,000 years ago till 10,000 years ago is called Mesolithic. 12,000 वर्षरू 10,000 वर्ष पूर्वे जो टाइम टा थिला ताको मेसोलिथिक कहा जाता. The middle stone age. Stone tools found during this period are generally teeny and called microlith. Microliths are probably stuck on the handle of bone or wood to make tools such as saw and sickles. At the same time, older varieties of tools continue to be used. Okay, the next stage from about 10,000 years ago is known as Neolithic. तापर जो 10,000 years ago ताको कहा होला Neolithic. What do you think the term Neolithic means? We have also mentioned the name of some places. You will find the name of many more places later chapter. Very often we use present day name place where people live in the past because we do not know what they call them. तापर असला changing environment. Around 12,000 years ago, there are major changes in the climate of the world, with a shift to relatively warm condition. 12,000 वर्ष पूर्वरू environment रे major change आसिला world climate में. In many areas, this led to development of grassland. This is turn led to an increase in the number of deer, antelope, goat, sheep, cattle. सेतेबेले ग्रासलैंड गुराक डेभलप देखाला. से समय रे जेतले ग्रास बढ़िला तो ऑब्वियसली हरिण माने छेली, शीप, कैटल, एंटीलोप एमन भी सब बढ़िले कारण से मन घास खाई बंचंती. Those who hunted these animals now followed them, learning about their food habit and their breeding seasons. It is likely that this helped people to start thinking about herding and rearing these animals themselves. Fishing also become important. The beginning of farming and herding. तो केमती start हैला तापरे पढ़िबा farming and herding. This is also a time when several grain bearing grasses including wheat, barley and rice grew naturally in different parts of subcontinent. से टाइम रे सब ग्रेन सब व्हीट, गहम, बार्ली, राइस सब नेचुरली सबकंटिनेंट रे चाष होला. मेन वुमेन एंड चिल्ड्रेन प्रोबेबली कलेक्टेड दिस ग्रेन एज फूड. तो से जो चाष होई नथिला से ग्रेन गुडा बढ़िला बियरिंग ग्रासेस. तो से मेन वुमेन चिल्ड्रेन माने सेमाने को सब कलेक्ट कले एंड लर्न व्हाई दे ग्रो एवं शिखिले किपरि सेटा ग्रो होउची. एंड व्हेन दे ripen जेतले से पाची जाउतला दिस मे हैव लेड देम टू थिंक अबाउट ग्रोइंग प्लांट्स ऑन देयर ओन. इन दिस वे पीपल बिकम फार्मर. तो से जेतले छा से धान बेरली व्हीट उठिला तो से माने कलेक्ट करथिले खाउथिले एवं पाचुथिला. तो से माने तोड़ देखले केमिति प्लांट ग्रो होउची. तो सेठु जे माने कृषि रो शिक्षा पाइथिले. People could also attract and then tame animals by leaving food for them near their shelter. The first animal to be tamed was the wild ancestor of the dog. Later, people encouraged animals that were relatively gently to come near the camps where they lived. These animals such as sheep, goat, cattle and also the pig lived in herds. And most of them ate grass. Often people protected these animals from attack by the wild animal. This is how they become herder. तो herder माने गृहपालित पशु. तो से माने केमिति हेले सेठी एटा वर्णना कराइछ. देन आसला डोमेस्टिकेशन माने गृहपालित is the name given in the process in which people grow plant and look after animal जेमती माने प्लांट को ग्रो कले तो एनिमल को भी ग्रो कले तापरे very often plants and animals that are tended by people become different from wild plant and animal. This is because people select plants and animals for domestication. For example, they select those plants and animals that are not prone to disease. They also select plants that yield large size grain and have strong stalk capable of bearing the weight of the ripe grain seeds from selected plants. Preserved and sown to ensure that new plants and seed will have in same quality. Among animals, those that are relatively gentle and selected for breeding as a result. Gradually domesticated animal and planted become different from wild animals and plants. For example, the teeth and horn of wild animal are usually much larger than those domesticated animal. Okay, एटा हला domesticated animal को teeth. वाइल्ड एनिमल को दांत बड़ बड़ थाए कारण से शिकार करता तो से डोमेस्टिकेट हो पारे. Domestication was a gradual process that took place in many parts of the world. It began about 12,000 years ago. Virtually all the plants and animal produce that we use as food today is the result of domestication. Some of the earliest plants to be domesticated were wheat and barley. The earliest domesticated animal include sheep and goat. A new way of life. If you plant a seed, you will notice that it takes some time to grow. यदि हम गोटे मंजी पोतिबा ताले एया ग्रो करिया पे किसी टाइम न. This may be for several days, weeks, months, and in some cases years. When people began growing plants, it meant that they had to stay in the same place for a long time, looking after the plants, watering, weeding, driving away animals and birds till the grain ripened, and then the grain had to use carefully. Okay, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ଲାଣ୍ଟ ଗୋଟେ ସିଡ୍ ପୋତା ଯାଏ ତ ପ୍ଲାଣ୍ଟ ହେବାକୁ ତାକୁ କିଛି ଦିନ, କିଛି ସପ୍ତାହ, କିଛି ମାସ ଲାଗେ ସେଇଟା ବଢ଼ିବା ପାଇଁ ଏବଂ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ବଢ଼େ. ତାପରେ ରାଇଟ୍ ପାଚେ ଏବଂ ତାକୁ ପାଣି ଦେବାକୁ ପଡ଼େ, ତାକୁ ତା'ର ଯତ୍ନ ନେବାକୁ ପଡ଼େ. ପଶୁପକ୍ଷୀମାନଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ ସେ ସିଡ୍ଟା ଖାଇଯିବେନି ଯେମିତି ସେ ଗଛଟା, ତ ସେମିତି ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହୁଏ. As grain had to be stored for both food and seed, people had to think of ways to storing it. In many areas, they began making large clay pot or oak basket or dog pits into the ground. Okay, जो ग्रेन हुए सेटा खाद्य रूप में भी खाई जाए और मंजी रूप में भी रखा जाए, स्टोर होता है. किसी एरिया रे एटा क्ले पट माने कादुअर पट होता है, ता भीतर रुहे एवं माटी तले भी रुहे आग काल. Then asla rearing animals. Animals multiply naturally. Besides, if they are looked after carefully, they provide milk, which is an important source of food, and meat whenever required in both wards. Animals that are reared can be used as a store of food. Finding about first farmers and settlers. You will note map 2 you will notice a number of blue squares. Each mark a site from where archaeologists have found evidence of early farmer and land. These are found all over the subcontinent. Some of most important ones are northwest in present day Kashmir and in east south India. तो ये जो हमें मैप 2टा पूर्व देखी से ब्लू स्क्वायर जो अच्छी से जो मार्क करा सब आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट मैंने ईयरली फार्मर मान को पाइथिले कुर्सी रू to find out whether these sites were settlement of farmer, and here the scientists study evidence of plants and animal bones. One of the most exciting findings includes remains of burnt grain. These may have been burnt accidentally or on purpose. Scientists can identify this grain, and so we know that a number of crops are grown in different parts of subcontinent. They can also identify the bone of different animals. Then as towards a settled life, archaeologists have found traces of huts or houses at the storm sites. For instance, in Burjaham in present-day Kashmir, people built peat houses, which are dug into the ground with steps leading into them. This may have provided shelter in the cold weather. Archaeologists also found cooking huts both inside and outside of the huts, which suggests that depending on the weather, people could cook food either indoor or outdoor. The ଲୋକମାନେ କେମିତି ସେଟଲ୍ ହେଲେ ପିଟ୍ ହାଉସେସ୍ ବନେଇକି ତାପରେ stone tools have been found from many sites as well. Many of these are different from the earlier Paleolithic tools, and that is why they are called Neolithic. So these include tools that were polished to give a fine cutting edge, and mortar and pestle used for grinding grain and other plants produce. Mortar and pestle are used to grinding grain even today, several thousand years later. At the same time, tools of the Paleolithic type continue to be made and used and remembered. Some tools were also made of bone. एगोटा stone tool आगे जो व्यवहार करा जाउथला. Many kind of earthen pot have also been found. These are sometimes decorated and were used for storing things. People began using pot for cooking food, especially grain like rice, wheat, lentils. That now become an important part of the diet. Besides, they begin weaving cloth using different kind of materials, for example cotton, that could now be grown. Did things change everywhere and all at once? Not quite. In many years, men and women still continue to hunt, gather food, and elsewhere people adopt farming and herding slowly over several thousand years. Besides, in some cases, people try to combine these activities doing different things during different seasons. A closer look, living and dying in Mehergarh page 2 रे हमें देखिले जोटी. This site is located in a fertile plain near the Bolan Pass, which is one of the most important route into Iran. Mehergarh was probably one of the places where people learned to grow barley and wheat. Okay. मेहरगढ़ जो जगार लोक मैंने बार्ली और व्हीट को ग्रो करते and here sheep and goats for the first time in this area. से टाइम रे फर्स्ट टाइम sheep और goat भी ये करा जाइथिला. It is one of the earliest villages that we know about. At this site, many animal bones were found. Bone of wild animals such as the deer, pig, also bone of sheep and goat were found. Other finds at Mehergarh include remains of square of rectangular house. Each house had 4 or more compartments, some of which may have been used for storage. एमतिया घर देखा जाउतला तो किछि रूम स्टोर पाई. A house in Mehergarh. This is what a burial from Mehergarh. अच्छा एटा हला लोक माने मरला परे जो पोती देउथिले ताको सहित ए छेड़ी भी तमें गोट स्केलेटन ऑफ गोट भी मिलुथला ताको सहित पोतीथिले. When people die, their relatives and friends generally pay respect to them. People look after them, perhaps in the belief that there is some form of life after death. Burial is one such arrangement. Several burial sites have been found at Mer. In one instance, the dead person was buried with goat, which were probably meant to survive as food in the next world. ଆଚ୍ଛା, ଏ ଯେଉଁ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଛେଳି ବି ପୋତୁଥିଲେ, ତ ତାଙ୍କର ବିଲିଭ୍ ଥିଲା ଯେ ମାନେ ନେକ୍ସଟ ୱାର୍ଲ୍ଡ ପାଇଁ ସେଇଟା ସର୍ଭାଇଭ୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ। ଏଇ ଚାପ୍ଟରଟା ସରିଗଲା। ଆପଣମାନେ ନୋଟ୍ସ ବି ଲେଖିଦେବେ, ଲେଖିକି ପଢ଼ିବେ, ଲାଇକ୍ ସେୟାର ସବସ୍କ୍ରାଇବ୍ ବି କରିଦେବେ। ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ। ଜୟ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ।